Hi everybody, my name is Divya, I run Gotham Taxidermy, and for Black History Month, I'm going to share with you the stories of Black taxidermists who have influenced this scientific art form that I love so much. First up is John Edmonstone. He lived the first part of his life in Guyana as an enslaved person where he learned taxidermy, but once slavery was abolished, he moved to Edinburgh and worked as a museum taxidermist there. In addition to doing museum work, he also gave classes, and he had one very famous student, Charles Darwin. Darwin used the skills he learned from Edmonstone on his research trips, and that helped him eventually establish the theory of evolution. What a huge impact. I hope Edmonstone's name is as well known as Darwin's now. Next up is Carl Cotton. He was the first Black taxidermist at the Field Museum, probably the first Black taxidermist in Chicago. He worked from the 40s through the 70s on birds, mammals, reptiles, all kinds of animals that came through the museum. He was initially turned away, but he persisted and eventually got the job as a volunteer. Then he worked his way up, and within a month, he was full-time. The Field Museum did an incredible exhibit about him a few years ago, headed up by Tori Lee and Rita Brooks. Let's give those ladies their flowers for taking Carl's story from the hidden archives into the shining spotlight. Next is Art Ledger. He is living history as the first Black taxidermist in the U.S. to have his own business and his own taxidermy school. Currently, he's working on turning his shop into a natural history museum. He first worked in the mortuary world with J.W. Willis, a prominent Black-owned funeral home, but then when his rabbit passed away, he developed an interest in taxidermy and wanting to preserve his beloved pet. In addition to a long taxidermy career, Art Ledger is also a neighborhood leader. He runs a community garden and animal rescue efforts, and I actually got to meet Art a few years ago in Ohio because my friends and I ran a fundraiser for his museum. Art Ledger is proof that history is always being made. The final figure I'm going to talk about with Black taxidermy history is New York City's own Sinclair Clark. He worked at the American Museum of Natural History, which is like the mother of all the natural history museums, and he was known for his skill with tanning skins. Tanning is what preserves the skin, turning a raw hide into leather. It takes a lot of technical and artistic knowledge and creativity and lots of skill, especially on animals like elephants. Some of the most famous taxidermy elephants were tanned by Sinclair Clark. His work set a gold standard that many museums and taxidermists still follow today. And his work continues to inspire generations. Who hasn't walked in front of an elephant at the Natural History Museum and just been awed? And we have to give flowers to his granddaughter, Diane Patrick, who has done so much to champion Sinclair Clark's legacy. I hope that you'll take the time to read more about all of these artists, because there's a lot more than this short little video could share. These histories and uplifting underrepresented voices is so important because it gives people the tools to think about our vast world and all of the amazing people in it. Diversity still matters, and it always will.